We have a saying around here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, no brains, no headache.
Well, hello, boys.
What's up? What's up?
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Welcome to No Brains, No Headache Podcast, episode 179. My name is Jordan Weichel. I will be your host today. Damn glad to be here. Thank you so much for listening. Hope we're about to have a good time. As always, I'm joined with my longtime friend, confidant, fellow comedian, co-host of the show, commissioner, and his name is Matt Cleary. Ongo, how are you doing this week?
I'm finally off the sickness that I had last week.
Yeah, there's something going around right now, and I don't understand. My poor immune system just keeps on fending it off, even though I am trying my best to just break it down. You know, dehydration, ingestion of chemicals, lack of sleep. Everything I can do to get sick, I've done, and I haven't.
So I went to this, like, last week, like, Monday through Friday, or, like, probably Saturday through Friday. I didn't get any sleep. Like, I was up, like, all night, like, doing the, like, clearing my throat and shit like that, coughing. And then Friday night, I fell asleep at 9 o'clock. And the next day, I woke up at 1:30.
Yeah, I was a little concerned. I shot you a text that morning, get our daily conversation started, and you didn't text me back for a while. I was like, you must be on the couch.
After sleeping for 16 hours, I was like a bear coming out of hibernation. I had absolutely no idea where I was or like what was going on. I had a text from like I was gonna go have lunch with my family, and
that didn't happen.
No, it was at 2 o'clock, so I didn't miss that. But I was like, I woke up and I was just like, yeah, like full of sweat, just like covered in a weighted blanket. The way
Your
I like
joints are achy because
Yeah.
I haven't really moved for a half day.
I like rigor mortis had set in, and I was like, oh my God, I needed that. I felt like so good after it. But to be done with the sickness, even though I'm kind of still a little sick.
Would you say you're down with the sickness?
Get out.
Okay. Yeah, have a good episode.
Yes, this is a fun one. But yeah, I mean, it's been a trying week, but you know, it's like a major setback, minor comeback.
Yep, that's the motto of our podcast, the mindlessly entertaining comedy show we have here called No Brains, No Headache. Matt, we're officially, for both of us, down to our last month of our 20s.
It's kind of depressing.
It is pretty depressing.
Yeah.
Any highlights of your 20s, something that you're going to miss? Nothing really actually changes, but it's official. We are almost done with our 20s.
I mean,
Not much to say for it.
yeah, I mean, I haven't really done anything of significant importance like myself.
Yeah, we have a pretty simple friendship. A lot of memories just come flooding in of just like sitting around your living room in college.
We started 2 podcasts in our 20s.
Yeah, Blurred Vision Sports Talk, R.I.P. in Peace, classic show. Now we have No Brains, No Headache, going 179 episodes strong, about 3.5 years. Yeah, earlier I was like, we started the show when we were 26. Now we're almost 30. Maybe we'll have to evolve this a little bit. Not much to show for the 20s, I would say.
Yeah.
I graduated college, as did you. So we were both college-educated men. We took a lot of trips to Chicago, Vegas, Austin, Texas, Minneapolis. We've been all over.
Yeah.
I lived in a different state during my 20s and immediately moved back.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a ride. Not a great one, but I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, it's really winding down here. A lot of reflection, though, and we will continue that as we get closer and closer to the big 3-0 that we are both chasing. I got a roast plan. That's going to be a lot of fun. Hope all of you around the area can make it. There's also a lot of reflection for everybody lately with their Spotify accounts. We had the Spotify Wrapped come out. Are you a premium member, or do you just have to be any member?
I looked at mine. I'm not a premium member.
So therefore, they didn't do anything?
Yeah, Spotify's kind of like porn for me. I'm never going to pay for it.
I mean, that is a fair principle to hold yourself to. But I pretty much all I learned about the Spotify Wrapped is that I have basic music taste. 2023 was a big contemporary country music.
I had a
year for
country
me.
artist on my top 5 for
Wait,
the first
so they
time.
did do one for you?
Yeah, I did it. Like they
still do it for
Yep.
the non-premium members.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not a peasant, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I had a country artist. Bailey Zimmerman was on my top 5 for the first time.
Okay, great. I saw him live this year. That was great. Mine was pretty much almost exclusively Morgan Wallen and Chris Stapleton, which is interesting because I go in such hard phases with country music. There was a period there probably like 2 or 3 years ago. I just wasn't. I wasn't into it. I wasn't listening to it. And now that since that's all changed, Morgan Wallen has changed my life for the better. I've seen him twice.
I remember Morgan Wallen when he was on The Voice.
Yeah, and he had the long hair.
Yeah, and he sang Howie Day's Collide.
Was it any good?
Yeah, he's pretty good. He was on Usher's team and then got stolen by Adam, and then I stopped watching The Voice forever. So it was pretty good. I mean, my Spotify Wrapped was, it's the classic. I had every single year for like the last 10 years, my Spotify has went Blink-182, Linkin Park, 50 Feet of Shit, then the rest. My 5th artist was like someone named Fix, like Phix. I don't know who that is.
Fair. Not a big music listener.
I listen to like essentially I'll just like be like Linkin Park radio, and I'll listen to that all day.
Blink-182 radio.
Yeah, that's basically all I do. But I did look up the top 10 global artists, and I only know 5 of them on there.
Is this another goddamn quiz?
No, I'm
Okay.
not. I'm not quizzing.
I'm tired of these pop quizzes on the show.
Number 2 is Bad Bunny, and I don't know who that is.
I recognize the name. Couldn't point. Is that a guy or a girl? Male or female?
No idea.
Could not point them out of a lineup.
I thought Bad Bunny was that chick, the Catch Me Outside chick.
That's bad. Oh, what is her name? Cash Me Outside. Cash Me?
Cash Me.
Bad Baby. Wait, what are you saying?
Bad Bunny.
Okay, yeah. Catch Me Outside, Cash Me Outside girl from Dr. Phil is Bad Baby with an H after the B's.
But then Pezzo Pluma was number 5.
This is global, Matt. You got to understand that there are other countries in the world besides the United States.
Name one
and
that
America.
matters.
A country?
Yep. Outside of the United States.
Probably something like France. France would probably be a big player.
I do like French fries. Feed.
No idea.
SZA. Carol G. Lana Del Rey. I think I've heard of that one.
Yes, you have.
But like I'm totally lost on everything else.
That's where the global comes into play. I mean, type in, look up the top 10 artists in America, the United States of America, US of A. Probably be a little more familiar. Mine was basically Morgan Wallen, Chris Stapleton, Parker McCollum, Smelly Hole, and Billy Currington.
Who the fuck is Smelly Hole?
Oh, Jelly Roll.
Oh.
Sorry. But by the way he looks, can't imagine the whole smells too good.
I feel like he needs one of those like pincher sticks to wipe his ass. Or he just showers after taking a shit. He's like, yeah.
Who doesn't these days, you know?
Well,
Spotify Wrapped. A lot of people have their opinion on it. I just wanted to say it told me I'm basic, and I'm okay with that. I will accept who I am as a music listener, and that's okay. A lot of people are like, I don't care about your Spotify Wrapped. The only thing I decided to share on the socials was that I was a top 0.5% listener to Morgan Wallen. We spent 6,000 minutes together this last year.
I think I did actually see
lot.
that, and I did the math, and it's like you spent over a month of your year listening to Morgan Wallen.
Well, then my top 5 songs, 4 of the 5 were a Morgan Wallen
And the other
song.
one was like the wheels on the bus.
And one of those Morgan Wallen songs featured Chris Stapleton, so yeah.
Well,
The other one was Let Me Down Easy by Billy Currington. Got my heart broke a couple times in 2023, so, that's going to happen.
yeah,
Great song, though.
my number one song was Always by Blink-182. And I don't think I ever, clicked on that song. I think it was just always on the radios that I was listening to.
Blink-182, obviously, probably for a lot of people, brings out a bunch of nostalgia for me. They had the American Pie soundtrack when that came out in 1999, turn of the century right there. As a young and up and coming, I watched that. That was one of my favorite movies. I love the American Pie series when I was younger. And then when Blink-182 does the soundtrack for that, every time I hear those songs, it's just, I'm thinking of Stifler and the fellas in American Pie.
I was trying to write this joke, but I never really got it off the ground. But it was something you do the One More Time by Blink-182 challenge. The first time you listen to the song and you try not to cry. And I was like, yeah, it was really weird because I was mowing my lawn.
Yeah, just bawling your eyes out.
And I was like, yeah, I was just driving my lawnmower. I don't have a riding lawnmower.
Hey, all I'm saying is if I fall, let me down easy. Okay, that'd be nice. Be very courteous of you. More housekeeping. Had poker night. Hosted a little poker night. I made it an NBNH funded thing. I just took money from the petty cash, which you ended up getting a piece of.
I got $10 out of that, and then I lost $90.
I gave you
of
20. What'd you do with the other 10?
It's in my wallet.
Oh,
I'll put it back.
no, that's fine. That's
Nope,
yours.
I'm put it back.
Go buy yourself a burrito bowl or something.
I love diarrhea.
Yeah, Matt lost out twice.
Pretty quick.
Within an hour.
Yeah.
I think we started a little bit after 8, and Matt was out the door at about 9:11. That's not a joke. It just stood out when I looked at the clock and noticed it.
In my defense, the first time I got out, I was like, okay, I'll get out. I think I'm probably not going to win this hand, but I'm going to buy back in. The second time I got out, I had the best hand, and some fucking joker on a rainbow ragtag flops the nut straight. And I have pocket aces, and I go all in and lose. And then I was doing the That's So Raven, seeing into my future.
Let me ask you guys. Beatles, Stones. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
All in.
Beatles.
You don't care.
A few all-ins.
Yeah, and I was I was looking into my future, and I'm like, okay, I've already had X amount of beers. My future here is going to be sitting and watching people play poker until I get drunk enough to borrow money and lose that immediately.
Which is funny because you borrowed money to a fellow comedian who came and played with us his first time. Give him all the credit for giving it a whirl. Right? Didn't you spot him?
Yeah.
So then you were done. Then I had to spot you. It's just a chain reaction. Yeah. It's a vicious cycle.
So yeah, poker didn't go my way, but how did you end up doing?
I ended up losing out of that main game. It was a classic. Poker's an interesting thing if you don't have a set-up poker night, which is kind of what I'm going for. First of all, I decided to host poker night. Reason being is I wanted to just do something at my place for a change. I'm always out and about. I'm at other people's places. I have a nice apartment. I wanted the people come to me, enjoy it, and it motivated me to deep clean my entire apartment, which is really nice. But then with poker, you can agree with this. You could probably play with 4 if you're really itching to get a game. You're at a cabin with the fellas. You're on
I think
hunting
6
trip.
is the perfect number.
Yeah. So right away, I just wanted to get a feel for if I could get enough people just for a decent game. I was going for 5. So once we hit that, a few people confirmed, a few people said they couldn't make it. So then I kind of just slowly started texting more and more people. Thank you. And then other people started inviting other people, which I'm totally okay with. We had 9 dudes around the table playing poker, which was awesome. I love that. And so it was a really good turnout. I ended up losing out, and then 4 of them ended that game and split their money however many chips they had left, and then played another smaller game, and then I took second. So all in all, throughout the night, I only lost $10, which I was really happy with. Hosted a great night, made some chips and queso, had plenty of beers, so that's good. And yeah, it was just nice to have poker. But yeah, so funny. Like you showed up at like 7:30ish, 7ish. We didn't really get going until like 8, and yeah, by 9:15, Matt was out the door, and everyone's like, "Where did he go? Why did he leave so fast?" I'm like, "That's Matt for you.
Yep,
that's just what he does. Okay, don't be surprised. If you walked up to a line and it ripped your face off, you wouldn't be surprised. So don't be surprised when Matt just kind of boots and scoots right on out of there.
Yeah, I will leave for just about any reason, and me trying to catch up on sleep, even though I just got 16 straight hours, that would be one of them.
But hey, we got a great episode here on No Brains, No Headache lined up. Episode 179, that is. Thank you so much for listening. We got some good stuff coming up. Matt's going to talk about Ichiro. I'm going to talk about me watching The Sopranos in depth in like a matter of a couple of weeks, Facebook Marketplace. Then we get to Mini Helmet Fantasy Football. We have quite a doozy to clear up there. But without further ado...
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Okay. Let's party.
I saw this thing on social media that might be the greatest thing I've ever seen, and I need it someplace near me. It's soup flights. You know how you get beer flights with every different type?
Yeah, margarita flights, distilled spirits. Some places will have flights of that.
This was a picture of essentially what was a 2x4 that they had cups of soup on, and it was soup flights. And it had like a list of like 12 to 15 soups. And I'm like, that's the greatest thing I've quite possibly have ever seen. As we get into soup season...
Oh, we're there, buddy.
Yeah, and it's perfect right now because it's not a hassle because there's no snow on the ground.
Still a little chilly.
Still a little chilly.
Above average, though,
yeah,
I would say.
But it's like, honestly, if you could have, like, give me that, you get a warm belly full of, like, 3-4 different types of soup, hit me, I'm all in.
What's kind of atop your list of, like, favorite, like, soups?
I was going to ask you to bide some time so I could think about it, but let me give you, I will say one I would want would be, like, a chicken wild rice.
I will say...
and a beer cheese. Those are my, like, 2 that I would want on there.
It kind of depends where you get it, but my lovely mother makes a fantastic, she's a great cook, but she makes a fantastic tomato soup, homemade, and then we'll just put them in, like, jars and then freeze them, and then you can, like, take them home, and, like, you can just thaw them out whenever you need it.
Oh.
So... that homemade tomato soup is my favorite because when you pair it with the grilled cheese, yeah, fuck me up, fam. That's what I'm talking about. It's the best combination out there. Nothing, it's a cold day, you're having a long day, maybe a shitty day, and for dinner you're having a couple of grilled cheeses and some tomato soup. That'll put a smile on your face.
Oh.
Turn that frown upside down and dunk that shit in the tomato soup. You don't even need a spoon. You shouldn't have one.
Oh, I had some great tomato basil soup from a restaurant in Bismarck, and it was if that was in my flight of soups, I would not be mad.
Chicken tortilla.
See, that would be another one that would fit the wild rice, beer cheese, tomato, chicken tortilla. Kind of fits all of like.
They're all
range.
same but different.
Yeah, it kind of hits a range. Like I'm trying to think. Like I don't want like a minestrone. I don't want a chowder.
I don't know if I've ever tried a clam chowder, and it's just the smell alone. I'm not digging it. The colors doesn't look great. The texture even seems fucked up.
I had canned corn chowder one time in college, and then got the flu. And let's just say any sort of chowder now makes me want to chowder.
Plus, the body has a hard time digesting the corn. So
yeah.
Can't imagine how the flu
Well,
was.
it didn't have to digest it when I projectile vomited my front lawn.
It didn't matter where it came out, man.
Yeah.
That shit wasn't going to get digested at all. The thing about soups, and I'll get back to chicken tortilla in a second, but the thing about soups is it's almost like, you have the classics like we were mentioning now, tomato, chicken wild rice, chicken noodle, chicken tortilla, clam chowder, so on and so forth. Those are all the basic ones. The best kind of soups are the ones that are like made up, like a hamburger soup or whatever.
One of my favorite
cheeseburger soup, I should
probably
say.
One of my favorite soups of all time, and one of my coworkers makes it. It's a sausage tortellini soup. And it's so fucking good.
Yes, you have mentioned that before, and I think that sounds great. And I'm just getting a lot of thoughts in my head right now. As a chicken wing connoisseur, Matt, hear me out. Do you think there's a way to make like a buffalo chicken soup? We have the buffalo chicken dip in society, in modern society, but you think there's a way, and I think we should experiment, of getting both the chicken and the buffalo flavor in a runny soup fashion that's delicious. It's not like too hot. You're not going to like get sick because you just have a belly full of hot sauce.
Yeah, see, that's kind of what I'm thinking. It would just be freaking Spew City after it.
Or you're just getting, or just be like a dip.
Yeah.
There's a fine line between dip and soup.
You'd almost need to like be like, here's buffalo chicken soup. You can dunk carrots and celery into it. Because if you put the carrots and celery into it, the buffalo is just going to overwhelm it.
But real quick about chicken tortilla. Believe it was in my college days, trying to figure out recipes you can make, cook for yourself, try to save a buck, eat at home, be a little bit healthier. And so I remember one time at one of my apartments, I delved into the chicken tortilla recipes, and I actually did some pretty, good research, asked my mother for her recipes and suggestions. And then basically what it came down to was I had one that was considered the healthy chicken tortilla, and then I had the other one that was considered the unhealthy chicken tortilla. Oh my God, the disparity between the taste. The unhealthy chicken tortilla
you just
soup
look at it,
so good.
Look at the other one, just be like, there's one I'm making here, and it's not the healthy one.
Or even like chicken Alfredo. I remember making one a couple times. Once I tried to make the healthy stuff. The other I'd made the unhealthy, so to speak. And, the unhealthy option, the non-calorie conscious, preservatives, whatever, always better.
I don't know if this is me just hating Italians, but Italian wedding soup is like the worst thing I've ever tasted.
I don't even know what that is.
It's like essentially they just put whatever they couldn't cook into a bowl. It's like meatballs, noodles.
I tried this one chili and it set my mouth on fire, and I had to drink a 2-liter of Mountain Dew.
Is chili a soup?
I was just going to ask that.
Yes.
Okay, I would say yes as well.
Yeah.
Chili's also hard to fuck up. It's like when I made queso for poker night, I really didn't know what I was doing. I've probably made it before, but I don't have like a go-to recipe and make it all the time. So I just kind of, just tried my best to improv a little bit, and it seemed to be fine. It didn't taste bad, but it wasn't like, oh my God, this is so good. So with chili though, that's a pretty easy one too. And yeah, it's chili season.
Yeah, I mean the only time you can fuck up chili is if you put too many different types of beans in it.
Yeah, you got to stick to the basics.
Give me
pinto
one,
and black.
Yeah, give me 1 or 2 beans in there. I don't want to be like, why is this bean the size of like my eyeball?
Here's a game changer for chili. Usually it's just ground beef, perhaps some sausage of some sorts. You can still do that, but then buy a nice cut of steak and cube it up.
Oh yeah, get this like stew meat.
Yeah, pretty much a stew, but
yeah.
But if you get like a even more finer cut, if you really want to get a filet mignon, go for it. But like a finer cut that's made for steak, like making on the grill, dice that bitch up, add it in, so good.
I for one am starving.
Well, yeah, all I've had for dinner is Welch's Fruit Snacks. There's their free ad every episode.
I mean,
Matt was staring at me earlier while I wasn't smacking my lips, all right? I've learned my lesson before, but I was mowing down a couple packs of fruit snacks, and Matt was just giving me a look as if, it was quite the scene.
It's Jordan eating fruit snacks is kind of like watching your mother-in-law drive off a cliff in a Cadillac. It's something you want to see, you just don't want to look away.
We had a big day out there. Big one. We've got a full moon, people are going to be amped.
And I love how on poker night you kind of did somewhat of an Irish goodbye, and that's what I would like to talk to now. According to this social media page, Wasted, I don't follow it, but it came across the old timeline. There's a study that says People who leave parties without saying goodbye save up to 2 days per year. That's from the UNSW's Time Management Institute. They interviewed 2,000 Australians, finding on average they go to 25 parties per year, and it on average takes 45 minutes to say goodbye. Matt, you're saving yourself some valuable time.
Yeah, I was going to say that's rookie numbers. I save about 2 months a year by leaving, because I'll leave, I'll be like, I've had my fill, I'm gone, and then all I hear about is we stayed up till 4 a.m. It's like, I was out of there at 10:30.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I had a fun night. Stayed up till 4 a.m. doing God knows what with God knows who.
Well,
and somehow I still feel like shit the next morning.
What can you do? The Irish goodbye is a classic move. I thought this was extremely appropriate for, the personnel here on No Brains, No Headache, you being that person.
If my phone was not at the table the last week when I found out that both stalls were out of order, and then I was like, well, I got to go home, I would have literally just left. But I went back and then grabbed my phone, and then I was like, well, see you guys later.
I mean, I have even started doing a little bit of an Irish goodbye myself on occasion. It's powerful. It is powerful, but when you immediately get the phone call from your friends 10, 15 minutes later, it's just if you don't see me, just assume that I'm gone and I'm not coming back.
Or when you're the first person at a bar table to get your tab and be like, anything else I can do for you guys? And you're like, oh yeah, I'll take my tab. And everyone at the table's just like.
I tried to put a bunch of drinks on somebody else's tab recently, and they're like, oh, they already closed it out. It's like, son of a. Didn't work.
Was it my tab?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
I would just blatantly do that. Speaking of which, we should ask our one friend we go out to lunch with every once in a while that canceled on us last time. Let's take him out to lunch and then make him pay. We had poker night, and I was trying to kind of establish a consistent thing every couple of weeks, and hey, here are the ground rules. Here's what we got to do. Got to do that with lunch with our friends. If you invite us out to lunch and then cancel on us, I don't care if your dog died. You cancel on lunch, you're buying the next time.
That's true. I feel like I end up buying for a lot of lunches. Just sort of.
I think I have you conditioned pretty well, because there's a few times where we go out to the watering hole or some sort of restaurant establishment. You're like, oh yeah, just put it on mine. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to stop you.
Credit cards doesn't really matter.
What else do we got on the docket for episode 179? No Brains, No Headache.
I ate dog food this week.
On purpose, on accident?
Yes, on purpose.
Okay. Why?
I love the smell of dog food. And so I tried a piece of dog food.
Okay, let's get a little context here. Were you by yourself? Was there people peer pressuring you? Were you gambling wager?
I was by myself, sober.
So what, did you just take one little piece of kibble and toss it back?
It's not good.
Well, I think a lot of people probably like the smell of gasoline, but if they gave it a whirl, they probably wouldn't like it.
It's not as bad as you think.
Well, drink enough of it, get you drunk too.
But, which leads me to my next point. After eating dog food, dog food's pretty bland for the dog. But what do you think the human version of dog food would be?
What would be bland to dogs?
Well, I think that dogs and us have pretty similar taste buds, so it's kind of mean for to just give them the same food that they eat day over and we would not eat it. But if you had to have the human equivalent to dog food, that would be this will keep you alive, but it's one ingredient and that's what you eat all day.
Broccolis and carrots. Reason I say that is definitely seen that those two foods get fed to a dog before, and then they'll do the whole one or two chomps, and then they just drop it on the floor I ain't eating that.
Yeah. I would say I was thinking a grain, either loaf, a piece of bread or rice.
Yeah, getting on the strict diet train of just eating chicken and white rice. not dousing it with soy sauce or some sort of sauce. You just kind of eat however it comes out is what you eat. Yeah, plain white rice, terrible.
There was actually one time that my mom was making hamburger and rice for my dog Molly because she had an upset stomach. No seasoning or anything. You just make hamburger and rice, and that's what helps her upset stomach. And she didn't tell me that she was doing that for Molly, and so she had it in the fridge. And I'm sitting there just eating the hamburger and rice, and she like walks in. She's like, "Why are you eating Molly's food?" And I was like, "No, it's not bad."
So you've eaten dog food twice now.
Well, one was actual dog food, and one was just hamburger and rice. Yeah, I mean, kind of the same thing, but not really.
Yeah, apparently rice helps with the upset tum-tum.
Yeah, and eating actual dog food does not help with an upset tum-tum.
Well, you heard it out there first, listeners, the loyal listeners of NBNH. Matt will tell you, so you don't have to. Dog food it may smell good, but it doesn't taste good.
Cat food up next.
Oh, great.
No, that smells like shit.
Yeah, I'm going to go to PetSmart, hit on the cashier.
Ooh, yeah, that is a tough one for me right now.
Yeah. Might have to pay a visit. I don't even have any pets. I'm just going to be walking around that place aimlessly.
Yeah, she's got face tats and could kill me, but like...
Kind of attracted to that a
yeah,
little bit.
like, almost, like...
I wouldn't say I'm into dominatrix, but I do kind of want to be a little bit intimidated by my girlfriend.
I want to get the shit beat out of me.
Okay, that would be dominatrix. That would be you are preferring abuse. You maybe pick up a couple candles on the way home, shove them up your hoop, light the end, let the wax drip down.
Wolfie.
What the fuck?
Moving on.
Hey, where's the freaking gabagoo? You motherfucker, huh? Don't make me get the...
So lately I have been binging The Sopranos. You and I share the same HBO account. It's yours.
Yeah, it's not much of a... You use my HBO. We share this. It's like,
we do share it.
That's implying that you pay me a monetary value for my HBO account.
I pay you in friendship. All right?
Fuck you. Okay, but go on.
Yeah, and I have been just binging this. Matt's seen that, when he hops on, he can see what episode I'm at. When do you think I started watching? Actually, I could get a little bit of a reference here. I tweeted about it a while back. Today of recording is December 4th. Okay?
I would say you started November 18th.
I tweeted a few times about The Sopranos, but November 15th, about around the time I started.
And I was thinking about doing the math because you're somewhere around season 6, episode 5.
Yeah, I'm about halfway through season 6.
And if you say that each of them are, 40 minutes?
Like 45 minutes if you skip the ending and then the intro. Also, the HBO and these other streaming platforms, they have it figured out because they know sometimes that you just want to kind of crush a nap and watch your favorite show. But it's pretty hard to nap when the theme song of the show, the volume is increased by 350%, and it's just louder and louder. That's what's good about The Sopranos is I can give it my undivided attention because I know I'm not going to fall asleep. If I do, I'm going to be abruptly woken up by the theme song.
And you know full well using my HBO account.
Sharing it.
That I watch the worst TV shows on the planet. I realized that there's Apple TV. I've been watching this one show and they do the thing where you can skip the introduction and you hit that and the introduction still plays for 30 more seconds. And if you're wondering, I'm watching Monarch Monsters and something. It's about Godzilla. I don't have a lot of friends.
Basically, okay, this is not understanding what I'm trying to Google here. So I guess we're just going to axe that one. But there's all sorts of funny sayings or words. A lot of it's just Italian, but I wanted to go through. The most classic one ever is Marone.
Meaning?
Marone. Marone means damn it, or it can also mean like the Mother Mary. It could be a multi-meaning. So you'll hear him say it a lot in the show, where you could replace it with like Mother of God or damn it.
Marone.
Marone. Say it with me. Marone.
Do you have to do the marone?
It helps. It helps to do that.
You might get to this, but what the hell is gabagool?
It's a cut of meat.
Isn't it just like pastrami or something?
Hold on.
All I know about like The Sopranos is watching the one episode of The Office.
Capicola.
I've had that before on a charcuterie or a board.
What the fuck does capicola mean?
It's a cut of meat.
I would like to know more. I'm unprepared.
Yeah, whatever.
Italian cured meat made from pork shoulder and neck. It's a very thin slice, and yeah, it's got you can see like the fat marbling in it.
I will say Italians, what they got right is their meats. They are all very salty and fatty and delicious.
We also have the Madigan. I don't know how to say it, like sounding like The Sopranos, but that is described of any American of non-Italian descent. So me and you are Madigans.
I think you had watched at this point 5 episodes, but we were out at the bar.
Oh.
And you're
I went hard.
I started watching The Sopranos. Also, and this is in the same sentence. You just go, also, I'm joining the mafia.
Yeah, there is, after I started to watch the show, went out one night on the town, and, I was out socializing, and, the more drinks I had, the more I would sound like Tony Soprano. I actually did have a tweet about that. I think it said something along the lines of, I went way too hard on Tony Soprano last night. Wait, hold on. I went too hard on the Tony Soprano bit, and now I have to whack 4 people tomorrow. Shit. So yeah, definitely. Yeah, as the night went on, I kept saying "motherfucker." Like, what are you talking about? Yeah.
And I think the Italian American accent is up there with the American accent, like being the best one.
We also have now this one. If it means anything bad, that's not my intention here. Okay, it's just a word they use in the show. I am just telling you about it. But it's moulignon, and that is ethnic slur for a black person. They say it a lot in the show. It also can mean eggplant. So I think they're just.
I mean, you could say a lot worse of a word.
So yeah, we got moulignon. We got che puz, CHE space PUZ. Like some of these I don't even know. I was just writing them down as I was watching the show. That means it stinks. And speaking of it stinks, they got the pichadou. Would you want to care to guess what a pichadou is?
I would say some sort of dish they use to serve wine.
Well, if you drink enough wine, you might use this dish. It means toilet. Oh. We got disgraciat.
Toilet wine.
Disgraciato. That means unfortunate. They also have this one. It's called perfect.
Perfect?
Yeah, it just means perfect.
I think I've said that before. Perfect.
Mutta. just means mother. Coos hound. Coos hound means you're a man whore.
Oh, okay. So Jordan is a coos hound.
Yes, because I have a lot of gumars, which are mistresses.
Ah.
Yeah, there's all sorts of, like, there's so many. A lot of them are actually just Italian words that they just, like, randomly sprinkle in with their English.
Got so drunk, I just started saying motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah, I threatened to kill multiple of my friends one night after watching The Sopranos and getting too drunk.
But
I didn't mean it.
let me hit you with this. One Sopranos character that is your Tammy Taylor.
Well, I have the Olympics of characters, so
Okay.
I'll just do that.
Yeah, hit me with that.
And since Matt's not participating, we'll do a little bit different, but the Olympics is a ranking game that we occasionally play on the show. You take a topic, this one being the Olympics of Sopranos characters. And so we'll have gold, silver, bronze, lost in the medal round. And I'm actually going to go opposite since I don't have to worry about yours.
Well, I was going to say I could participate in this too.
Have you seen the show?
No, but I will.
No, that's just ridiculous. I mean, you can...
Adriana, number one.
It's Adriana, first
Okay.
of all. So my lost in the medal round is Jennifer Melfi, who is the shrink.
Why, hello.
Yeah, she's very beautiful, but plays a huge role. Because for those who don't know, basically the Google description is Tony Soprano juggles the problems of his fractious... Why do they have to use such big fucking words that nobody uses in the Google thing? Fractious family with those of a family of a different sort, the mob. He sees a therapist to deal with his personal problems, which bring on panic attacks. He deals with personal and professional power struggles, affairs, violence, the threat of exposure and betrayal, and a whole bunch of people being whacked. Whacked means kill, in case couldn't put two and two together there. But, so yeah, the shrink, Jennifer Melfi, her name is Lorraine Bracco in real life. Very beautiful. She's not like in it a whole lot.
That's a shame.
She's in there a fair amount. And yeah, she has a lot of really interesting conversations with Tony Soprano as his therapist, I should say. And you could probably guess that as, you know, a high figure in the mafia, the mob, probably best to not be going and telling somebody all about what your work and personal affairs are, even though there is that patient and professional, doctor confidentiality. I don't know what the modern ruling is on that, but I'm pretty sure they can't really say anything similar to a Catholic priest in confession, unless they feel as if somebody is like in imminent danger or something like that. So my lost in the medal round is the shrink. I think she plays an important role, and yes, she is very beautiful. There's a lot of sexual tension between her and Tony at times.
Did they ever bang?
Well, a lot of spoilers coming up. I'm halfway through season 6, and they haven't, but he does have a few dreams about that happening, which is
why hello.
Yeah, my pants are getting tight all of a sudden. My bronze medal, I have to give this one to Christopher Moltisanti. Now, that is Tony's nephew. He's a lot younger than all the rest of the guys in the mob, but he's definitely a rising star. That is because he is blood to Tony Soprano, and that is actually, definitely...
Did they call him something? Did they call him Christopher, or does he have like a name?
Chrissy. His name's Christopher Moltisanti in the show. So
a lot of cheek kisses going on?
Oh, so many cheek kisses. Actually, and then that one night when I went out, I gave somebody a kiss. I gave a lady a kiss on the cheek. Like, what am I doing?
Marron.
Yeah, marron. And then I walked away. But I was like, what? I blacked out. I was like, what did I just... Yeah.
The bartender she was just like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, definitely an interesting way of greeting people. But yeah, Chris Moltisanti, very popular character in the show. I got to give him my bronze medal. Young guy. I like the way he composes himself. He does have a bit of a drug problem, which I respect.
Yeah, classic. What kind of drugs are we talking?
Well, just about everybody in the show does cocaine.
Okay.
Everybody also smokes a shitload of cigarettes. It's like the Boardwalk Empire or other shows where they're constantly smoking cigs, and it kind of makes you crave a cig. And then you have one, and you're like, oh, this is terrible. Why did I do that?
I even told you this, that the 1 month that I smoked cigarettes to get out of work, I was watching Shameless, and I wanted to be like Lip, who always smokes cigarettes.
Yeah, what? Smoke away, smoke them if you got them. Chris Moltisanti, definitely like his character a lot. He is with Adriana. I'm not going to say too much, but he is with Adriana, so I also respect him for that because she's beautiful. It's good. It's a good thing to be, blood related to one of the higher figures.
I have like a very important question about that. And if I'm going to watch the show, but do you see Adriana's cans?
You do not.
Okay.
You see the therapist.
Oh, okay.
Very briefly, twice.
All right. Things I can look forward to in life.
If you're after nipple, there's plenty in this show.
Okay.
This is from 1999 to 2000 HBO. So it was made when nipple was still cool. I think nipple's making a comeback a little bit, but the objectifying of women is kind of like a modern thing now. It's like, I'm not trying to objectify you, I just think you're hot.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely see that in early on HBO, and then it kind of tapers off.
For sure.
Silver medal?
Unless you got Game of Bones. Silver is going to Silvio. Now, this is played by Steven Van Zandt. A character named Silvio Dante. He is one of the captains and one of the right-hand men of Tony Soprano. Surprise, surprise, Tony is the mob boss. He doesn't start out in the show as that, but, it's called The Sopranos, so it makes sense that he is the figure. But it's basically Tony Soprano, Silvio, and then a guy named Paulie are kind of like, I would say, like the big three that are really tight with each other. So Silvio, he just got that look where his like lower lip comes out and it kind of looks like he's constantly frowning. And he's always doing the head bob. He's doing this.
Like the De Niro,
he's got a thick head of hair and it's just perfectly combed back. So yeah, I like the way his character composes himself. And then, on top of that, he runs a strip club. So, you got to respect that. And he's got a smoking hot. He's got a lot of gumars, but he's got a smoking hot wife, too.
Also, this guy is like very much, just looking at his short filmography, he does not have a lot. And I would say out of the 7 of them, 4 of them are playing an Italian character.
Wait, what? I don't know what you just said.
He plays Frank Tagliano in Lilyhammer.
You're talking about Steven Van Zandt?
Yeah.
Oh.
He plays a character in
Maybe
The
start with that
Irishman
next time.
and plays a guy in Under the Boardwalk as Bruno. So, yeah.
Hey, you got to play to your strengths. And he plays a fantastic Italian mob person. I also what I like about Silvio is he doesn't really ever get on anyone's bad side. And he very rarely carries out the whacking of someone or like physical altercations. I don't think you might see him throw a couple punches in the entire show, but I respect that guy who if I could avoid violence but be in the mob, that's the best.
He's right in the pocket.
And then we got my gold medal Olympics of Sopranos characters, Tony Soprano.
Yeah, it has to be.
He is the mob boss. I love his character. Like you fall in love with the guy. Sometimes he does some pretty sketchy stuff. Gets a little chippy at times. He can be an asshole at times. But I love the way he composes himself and just goes about his life. And what I have come to really appreciate is the idea of family and loyalty that the Italians and the mob really they express that very deeply. So I respect those virtues. There's a lot of organized crime, murder, drugs, what have you, and those can all be viewed as negative things. But at the end of the day, these guys are all pretty tight. Tony Soprano's the one keeping it all together and probably has a huge target on his back, or he does have a huge target on his back, being the mob boss. So that's my podium. Honorable mentions, Paulie. He's another old guy, hair slicked back, and then he's even got like a white thing on the side, and it's just slicked back. I like the way he talks. Very funny too. Him and Chris Maltasanti kind of team up a lot. And yeah, he's kind of one of the main guys. Meadow Soprano, played by Jamie Lynn Sigler. So with her, I used to watch the Entourage, another HBO show. I was introduced to Meadow Soprano through that show because Turtle dates Jamie Lynn Sigler in the Entourage, and she plays herself, and they always like make Sopranos jokes and stuff. So I knew who she was before I've ever watched the show. Adriana Lacerva is her character name. Drea De Matteo is her actual name. Very beautiful. That's probably the only reason,
Yeah, she's pretty hot.
Not going to get into too many spoilers, but she gets into some pretty sticky situations.
Let me ask you this. You're big in The Sopranos right now, and putting recency bias aside, which is very hard, how would you rank it in your top 10 TV shows of all time?
I would say it's got to have consideration for that top 5.
Really?
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, I kind of wanted to have a lot of like different types of shows and eras of shows in my top 10. I believe Even Stevens was number 10, and if you're not putting The Sopranos above that.
But I mean, that's also, we're taking other picks before you.
Yeah, but if I could just do my top 10, I mean, as is, it's got to be considered for top 5. It would make the top 10 for sure.
Okay.
I'm a big pop culture person. If it's something that's just like super, popular in culture, I'll have like mad respect for. I'll like the idea more than I actually like it. So yeah. Another honorable mention: Artie Bucco. Now he is like, I think he's family with the mob, but he's like not part of it. He's not a made man, as they say in the show. But he runs a restaurant, and he's a great chef. And I don't know, he's just kind of a little weasel. And I don't know, I like him. He's funny. They always come in, rack up huge tabs at his restaurant, and then never pay. And then quick DQs, ones I absolutely hate. There's probably more, but Tony's mom, spoiler alert, she kind of dies off after a certain point, but she is just a miserable old bag. There's no other way to put it.
Yep.
Janice, which is Tony's sister. The women in Tony Soprano's life, I'm not a huge fan of. Janice is one of them. She's just like the crazy, like hippie sister who has like no fucking common sense at all. It's like, can we just kill her off already? I'm so tired of dealing. She bangs half the mob. It's just like, come on, move back to Seattle. AJ, Anthony Jr., Tony's son.
I've heard he sucks.
I cannot get around to like him. And I get it. He's got like a limited role, and they kind of got to bring him in to give the whole dynamic of the family and fatherhood. I don't like him.
I'm big into like lists of the most hated TV show characters of all time, and he's always on the top 10.
Richie Aprile, hate him. The moment he gets out of jail and comes on the show, he's just got this look of like, okay, this guy is going to murder me and then perhaps rape me afterwards. Then I was just looking, I found another one. Ralph Cifaretto. Absolutely hate the guy. He's got a hairpiece in it. Just does a lot of scummy things as his character. But The Sopranos, fantastic TV show on HBO. If you haven't seen it before, I highly recommend it. Because when we did our top 10 TV shows, we got pretty picked apart for not having The Sopranos on there.
Yeah, that was tough. Especially one of my comedian icons who quote tweeted it on Twitter and said, "All these suck," and I was like, "Oh,
fantastic!
Appreciate it."
It's actually recommended by my ex-girlfriend, so at least that relationship wasn't a complete waste of time. I'm not so sad anymore.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna move on that note onto something that's pretty similar. Ichiro Suzuki, probably one of my top 10 baseball players of all time. Made headlines this week because he hosts his own baseball game in the Tokyo Dome, which seats 55,000 people, which he sold out. And he started pitching against high school girls in Japan. He pitched 116 pitch shutout. I don't know if there's like a thing about getting people involved, but I feel like just tanking all these girls. It's essentially the Billy Madison scene when he goes out with like the third graders to play dodgeball.
Yeah.
That's what Ichiro did.
I mean, you want equality in sports. There you have it.
But he did strike out against a high school girl in the first inning. But I just don't know about the whole aspect of it, because it's like his Japanese high school all-star girls thing that they're playing baseball to promote baseball. But he's like, watch this. I'm going to sit you down. He was clocked at throwing in between an 82 and an 86 mile per hour fastball against them. I don't know if you know this, but that's pretty fucking fast.
It's pretty fast for a 50-year-old man.
Yeah, I mean,
retired baseball player.
And I love like the thing of it, because it's a whole spectacle. Like there's umpires, it's a complete game. But it's Ichiro's team, which has a lot of former MLB players on it. Daisuke Matsuyaka is on there. And they only won 4-0. Ichiro had 3 hits.
Well, and it's also Japan, like you were saying earlier with the global music. You know, let me remind you again, Matt, there's other countries out there and cultures, and they do things differently. Baseball, huge in Japan. So is Ichiro. Why not mix the two?
I mean, it's fun, but like the fact that like he didn't pitch like the first inning and then be like, all right, we'll let other people play. He's like, you know what? Complete game.
Jackie Moon, owner, player, coach.
I'm shutting these girls down.
If you're Ichiro in Japan, you do what you want.
Yeah, that's true.
Traffic yields to Ichiro. There's a lot of traffic, and they all stop.
And it does suck. Do we got any Facebook marketplaces this week?
Yeah, we got a couple talking about the classic platform of Facebook Marketplace. I don't think there's too many, but we might as well go through them.
I'll start with this one that I sent you today, actually. It's a twofer. Some guy's truck is essentially parked in the water. And someone just said, is anyone missing this beautiful truck? She is nice and frozen into the ice.
It is a Toyota, like a very small truck. Also looks like a homemade camouflage paint job on it.
And about probably 120 pounds of
probably a few
sand in the back.
Sandbags in the back.
But I was just like, oh, okay, that's terrible. And then the one right below that is sharing an alert to homes in Northwest Bismarck. Someone is either throwing or using an electric thrower to launch clay pigeons at homes in the area. They appear to be shooting at windows and garage doors. Now, as someone that has thrown stuff at cars and out of windows, I feel like clay pigeons is just a very big reach.
It's a poor choice. I mean, clay pigeons...
They're not cheap, are they?
I'm not really sure. I mean, it's something that you're just going to destroy, so you don't really get a return on investment, that's for sure. Anybody wondering, clay pigeons are just small discs, usually have like orange on the top, and you can fling them, and then the idea is you can practice your shooting with a shotgun to mimic like a bird flying in the air. So they are meant to break very easily.
Yeah, let's just be glad they didn't shoot the shotguns after them.
That is a good thing. And I think we have at least one more here.
The next one, if you want to take it, the chainsaw carved.
Apple phone update is just okay. Chainsaw carved bear in log. And Matt, we might just have to do a clip and add this picture. It kind of resembles a bear. But honestly, it looks like they just tied a log behind a truck and then drug it down the highway for about 200 miles.
You can see like the bear nose
I can tell where the nose is and like the paws. I think they forgot to like cut off the whole top part.
It looks terrible.
Yeah, it looks like this log just got into a fight with a wood chipper. And $250.
Yeah, so if anyone wants that,
You would be better off buying your own chainsaw, getting a free log from somewhere, and
Not even that,
doing
just,
it yourself.
Just use an axe. You'd be fine.
I think that would probably take you a shitload of time.
Yep. The next one was you.
Where is it?
Large pile of vintage hardwood flooring.
Yes, Matt said it. Most pieces about 10 to 14 inches. They're not cut. My whole house is hardwood floor, so not sure if extra are never used. We'll need boxes or tubs. Call or text to buy and pick up.
This is a classic having a huge tree in your yard where you want someone to do it for you.
Yes, I believe Matt's response to me sending him the screenshot was, come clean out all the junk out of my garage and pay me for it.
Like, it's bad.
Yeah, it's just an assortment.
And you would do absolutely nothing with this because a lot of it is cut for flooring. It's like, you're not going to just randomly floor like some sort of dumbass thing. So, Rick.
It's another classic case of somebody just putting the word vintage in front of an old piece of shit. You can't just do that. I think that might be it.
There's one more about a local high school texting someone saying, your son has at least one excused absence today for more questions. And someone posted that and said, would the guardian of this kid may want to figure this out? I don't have any kids.
Yeah, it's like imagine you don't have any children and you get this text from basically a high school. Clearly they mixed up some phone numbers.
Yeah.
I think if that happened to me, though, I would text back and definitely fuck with them.
100%. I fuck with any random person that texts me at all times.
I would text back and be like, he's still alive? I thought he died 2 months ago.
Just getting morbid with it?
Yes.
Okay, we got to talk about mini helmet fantasy football.
Yeah, do you want to explain your doozy from last week? So,
okay.
and let me defend myself first. I didn't realize that this was going to be an issue because you didn't tell me about it beforehand. You kind of just threw it at me out of the blue. I was also watching a game. The funny thing is those two teams of the game we were watching are into the problem that we have now.
I actually kind of shot myself in the foot. Looking at the teams, I picked a backup quarterback.
But do you want to explain what the problem is?
The problem was Jordan said, aren't there any more bye weeks? And
No. Okay, Matt, you were terrible at explaining things. Let me do it. Matt said we're in mini helmet fantasy football playoffs. I'm like, cool, whatever. I'm not sure what that means. So he said, let's pick 2 quarterbacks, some wide receivers, tight end, flex, and then that's your lineup for the rest of the season. I was like, cool, that's a great concept. Huge problem, though. There's still bye weeks left. When I asked him afterwards, I said, aren't there any byes? He said, oh, no, dude, bye weeks are over, man. The next morning, I'm kind of thinking of this, and I just randomly thinking in my head, I said, well, wait a minute. The Vikings are on a bye, and I picked Justin Jefferson. So how in the hell is this going to work? And I texted Matt, and I sent him a screenshot of all the teams on a bye this week. There's like 6, and then there's 2 more next week. So I don't know how it's very fair if you pick somebody who's on a bye week because we usually remove the helmets from bye weeks. And now we got this whole confuculated situation that Goodell over here has to figure out.
In my defense,
There's no defense.
I did pick people on a bye week as well.
Okay, I don't know that's not your defense because that even proves further that you fucked up.
Well, I didn't know that there was
not
more
a defense.
bye weeks.
If you were in a courtroom setting, do you think your defense would be proving that you fucked up?
I would plead ignorance or insanity.
You are insane.
But I did pick PJ Walker, who is the 3rd string quarterback on the Browns.
Yeah, Joe Flacco's been there for like 3 days and has already started.
And Jonathan Taylor just died.
He got injured. So, Matt, what's your proposal?
Nothing. I'm saying I'll keep my team the way it is. If you want to make any changes for this 1 week, go for it.
I mean, it would be nice to have points in my wide receiver position, not for Justin Jefferson, who's on a bye. Great solution.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, so mini helmet is suspended until further notice.
We're back to the league drawing board, if you will.
This is No Brains, No Headache podcast. You get what you pay for, and I'm pretty sure this is free, so what do you expect? It's also our insurance policy. If you don't like it, that's on you for listening to a show called No Brains, No Headache. We're going to figure it out, and we will come back next week, episode 180, and we'll have an answer for you. Well, Matt will. He is the commissioner and creator, and somehow didn't realize that a quarter of the league is on buys.
Yeah, that one's on me.
Well, I think that's our show. Matt, how can our listeners get more involved? No Brains, No Headache.
Yeah, just follow us on social media. A couple of them are popping off right now, so get on board at NBNH Podcast, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. You can watch the entire show if you'd like. If not, you can leave us a review or follow us on Spotify and Apple. Helps the show a ton. We will see you guys for episode 180, a little bit of a milestone.
Roast of Jordan Weichel, Friday, December 29th. If you're in the area, feel free to stop by. It's pretty much our next comedy show. Other than that, stay fresh, you cheese bags.
This is a freestyle off the top of the dome. Here we go. And I do it again, 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 again. I do it only once. Again, 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 again. I do it only once. I go